Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the amazing Miss Lady Pop Hunter here, having another open conversation with those of you who chose to join us here today. Glad you could make it, everybody. Glad you could make it. And today, you know, we love our collections.
Yes.
We collect a lot of things. We collect action figures and toys, mostly vintage. A lot of we do have modern stuff.
I have more modern.
She has more modern than I do, but that's okay. But vintage, modern. We collect comic books. We collect vinyl records. Yeah,
precious moments.
She collects precious moments, figurines, and
collect everything.
Snow babies. That's cool.
Temptation glass.
Yeah, she does. It's cool. I get vintage video game stuff. You know, Nintendo and Sega and Atari and whatever. So. All that being said, what do you do, or when do you know when it's time to turn that faucet off?
Yeah, hang it up.
Water's been running, and the tub is full, and it's spilling over the side. It's time to start closing those valves, because you in trouble. Okay.
Not so much in trouble.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble if that water's running onto the floor.
Yeah, you are in trouble.
It's dripping down on the neighbors.
Oh, don't even talk about that. When
Why not?
When I moved to Illinois,
I got a story too, but go ahead.
Before you got there, because I got there before him.
Yes.
And we
were moving from two different places.
Right, and I got a condo. And I lived on the bottom floor. Of course, it was like a 2-level, and someone was on the top floor, and the guy upstairs had committed suicide.
Oh no!
In the bathtub, and the water was on, and ran down to the apartment I was in. But it happened right before I moved in.
Okay.
And you know, the water just kept coming down, and he was married, and his wife wasn't at home. I think she was out of town or something. So she came back, and he was dead in the apartment under them. The apartment I was in was flooded out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got a flood story too. I know we were going to talk about.
We're going to talk about that.
Since you brought that up, when I was, because I grew up in Boston, and I lived in Boston for quite a while too before I started moving west, and almost anywhere you are, you're going to be in an apartment.
Yeah,
it's kind of unavoidable in a big city like that. And water, I had come home one day. And I went into the bathroom, water's running down all the walls.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just pouring down the walls. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I go upstairs, knock on the door, a woman answers. I was like, water's running down into my bathroom. And she was like, yeah, it's coming from my bathroom, right? So I go to her bathroom, and her bathroom's full of water. And I mean literally, because her toilet's overflowing. Yeah. And rather than turn the valve off, because you know that little spigot's right there?
Yeah.
She built a barrier in front of the door. So she had a something, so I forget what it was, a big cutting board or something against the door. And so there was literally like 2 feet of water in that bathroom and rising, and it was spilling over into her apartment because she put something against there to block it. I tried to block the water out.
Why she ain't called the maintenance guy?
I called the maintenance guy.
But why didn't she?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell she was doing. And so I turned the valve off, and I said, go and get me a pan. And I'm bailing the water into her bathtub, okay? And it was overflowing because she tried to she fried a fish and burned it, and she tried to flush it down a toilet.
She couldn't put that in the trash can.
This sucker was huge. You could see half of it sticking out, and I pulled the fish out of the toilet, and of course the water ran down. And then this sucker was like this big. It looked like it was a foot long. I was like, why would you try to flush a damn fish down the toilet? And then the maintenance guy comes, and I explain everything that's going on. He was like, what the hell is going on up here? But yeah, that's my people.
But why she just put the fish in the trash can?
Because it smelled. And she wanted to flush.
And she couldn't take the trash to the trash can outside.
No, she's got to flush. I'll walk all the way out there. So she's gonna.
I mean,
flush.
people just don't surprise you.
People are dumb. Yeah, it's scary. But, anyways,
Jesus Christ.
collecting and knowing when it's time to slam on those brakes before you
Yes.
hit that tree. Okay? When is it time to slam on those brakes? Well, first of all, one reason why you might want to stop is if it's hurting your relationship. You know, and we've talked about this because we talked about like how that can be a deal breaker. You know, we did a video of like a week ago about when family, friends, spouse, etc. doesn't like your collecting and they're giving you a hard time. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Because if they don't like your collecting habits and it's not hurting anything, the hell with them. All right, seriously, the hell with them. And if you're not already hitched, that could be a deal breaker. If you're with a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, fiance, and like that collection goes where I do, bye, bon voyage, sweetheart. But if you've got a habit, I talked with Justice Curry about this because we did a live a couple of weeks ago, talking about addiction and collecting, and that's kind of what I mean. If it's that much of an obsession, that it is hurting people because you're neglecting bills. Bills are piling up. You missed a car payment. You have no emergency or petty cash for if something comes up. You're sitting there saying, well, we saw this on the Wonder Years actually. We can get the TV. The color TV episode, the Christmas episode. We'll eat hot dogs for the next couple of months because everybody was bugging for a color set. And Dad was like, we ain't doing that. And did not get the color TV. Good for you, Dad.
Yeah.
He waited. He waited until he was ready. If you're creating suffering through it, you know, you want it so bad, that comic, you've got to steal it from the convention instead of buying it. And a lot of that goes on.
Yeah.
Believe it. Or you're stealing from your local shop. Oh, you know, a little 5-finger discount instead of paying for it because you can't afford it, but you just gotta have it. You know what? It may be time to get some intervention.
Yeah. Or you just don't have that passion anymore.
That's another good point.
You don't feel like there's no desire to buy any more comic books. The ones you have, you like, you read, but then you don't even really care to read those anymore.
Or, you know, you've been reading a comic. This happened to her with the Green Arrow. It was really good until a certain point, and then the writing style went completely to left field.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. I don't want any more from this series.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's, you know, did it take a turn? Maybe it's time to stop.
Yeah. Or you know, you go to the show and nothing catches your eye. You don't even care about your Grail anymore. You know, just nothing sparks you about it anymore. And that can be comic books, it could be the toys. You don't care to even add another piece to your collection. Things would come out that normally you would be excited for, and it comes out and you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't really care.
You're buying it out of obligation.
Yeah, or a show is coming up and you usually excited. You've bought the tickets to I mean, you rented a hotel room.
Oh, wow.
You've done all of this, but you don't care to go anymore. You get there because you already planned and you're just walking around and everything just looks unappealing.
Yeah, you're buying out of obligation. And I've seen that actually a lot with, I've heard that from the pop community quite a bit. Because
You just always got to go on to them pops.
Well, I tell me you haven't heard this one where they're like, yeah, you know, I didn't really want this one, but it was cheap. Or I didn't want to get these, but I've already got a bunch from that set. So when the next wave came out, I got it anyways, even though I wasn't really interested in it because I already got the first ones. You just told me you didn't want them, but you bought them anyways. If you're doing that, if you're forcing yourself to be a completist about certain things, you don't have to have everything. I like completing a set, you know. I've got, like I've mentioned it before, I've got the complete, it's actually right here, the complete Kenner Chuck Norris Karate Commandos set. I was happy to finish that. I got every piece. I'm happy, I'm done. But you don't have to do that. And sometimes the sets are so expansive, you might not be able to do that, like a raw era G.I. Joe stuff. You may never finish that, especially if you're looking at foreign variants and other things. You may never finish that. It's okay not to complete it. Or if you just want to focus on certain things. I'm going to get just figures and no vehicles from this. But there are people that are obsessed, and it goes beyond even just the figures and accessories. They're buying sealed party hats, and they're buying pencil cases. And yeah, you're laughing. I'm serious. They're buying toothbrushes, sealed toothbrushes. They're buying sealed cans of Chef Boyardee from 1992 because it's got a mail away shredder offer on the wrapper from the Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are people that have collections of sealed Hostess pies from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
the ones with the
the
disgusting green filling.
Yes.
And they're like Hostess bricks now inside of like a wax wrapper that's all messed up because the fluid has leaked into it. You know, it's yeah, how far are you willing to take that as a completist? Do you really need it? Are you actually enjoying that, or are you just obsessed with getting product from that line? Is what I'm saying. Because if you're into all of that, hey, I can't take that from you. You enjoy it. But are you just doing it because you feel like you need to complete it? I know you got something to say.
No, I mean,
No?
no, I'm thinking just, I mean, some people like that kind of stuff.
Sure. Like I said, that's why I said I can't take it from you. If you enjoy it, I can't take that from you, and I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but
there is historical value to all of it, honestly.
And sometimes it do look cool. I mean, you know, you got it. I'm always like, man, who kept all that stuff? But you got it,
It's
and
true.
it make you happy. But I'm talking more about like, when do you just give it up because you don't want to or need to? I mean, and I wouldn't say space. Because some people say, "Oh, you got to quit when you run out of space." I don't believe that.
Go by the credo of when you reach your capacity, you can't get something else unless you sell something off to make room.
That.
And there are a lot of people who do that. They do that. Our suggestion for that, and don't get too carried away and have like 8 storage lockers, okay? and then you forget about one, and then you find out it was sold at a public auction because you didn't pay on it for 3 months.
Yeah.
And the storage facility sold it out from under you, and some dealer's like, "Yeah, bitches," but because he bought your locker out for pennies on the dollar. You don't want to get too carried away like that. Storage is a big issue, and display is a big issue. And there are people that will hang it up because they ran out of room. So space is an issue. You don't want to get too carried away if you don't have the room. It's one of the reasons why I've never really tried to go after the USS Flag. Even with all this room, it's like, where will I put it?
I don't care. I want you to have it.
She does. She's very supportive. I appreciate that, though. I really do.
I don't need it up.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Actually, I would like to get the Defiant next.
Yeah, you've been wanting on that Defiant for a minute. I think you're going to have to piecemeal that together.
Oh, gee whiz. Golly gee.
You're going to have to piecemeal that together.
Wowzers. But, space can be an issue, and you may
Yeah.
want to second guess yourself sometimes if you're like, God, I've got nowhere to put this.
Yeah.
And another one that I think is pretty important is your budget, because you can only do so much with the money that you have. And sometimes, and I've had to do it, I've had to let things go, even stuff that I never see that I'm like, oh, I need this piece to go in with my collection. I need one more, I need this one or two items, and you see the price and you're like, youch. There's only so much you can afford sometimes.
Yeah, but then I'm like, now, because I don't know if you getting mixed up. When I say, well, stop and pause.
Yeah, you can pause.
Pause your collecting for a while, because maybe something came up and you can't afford it for a while, you know, or you and your family, your wife decides that, hey, we need a bigger house. We started out here and we only had one kid, now we got four.
Oh,
so you
no.
say, okay, I'm gonna put a pause on my collecting so we can save up this extra money, and we both work a little extra, do some side hustling or whatever, and then later on we get back to it. But or stop and just say, well, I'm not as interested, or I've lost that fire, but don't sell anything.
Yeah, because a lot of times people will do that as well, and especially I've seen that with a lot of modern stuff, like NECA. I've heard that from several NECA collectors,
Yeah.
and several Star Wars Black Series collectors, Funko. I'll throw it out there again, where they got disenfranchised from it. They got frustrated
Oh.
for some whatever reason. It is too much. It never stops coming.
Yeah.
It's getting more expensive. The quality control issue that I've been complaining about for the last 10 years still hasn't been addressed. And they're like, they get so, or they can't find it. I heard that a lot with the G.I. Joe Classified collecting because of the Cobra Island stuff at Target. No one can find it.
That's why I stopped with the NECA Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, you can't find it anymore. And they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But instead of just stopping, they sold everything.
Yeah.
They got rid of it all, took a loss, because aftermarket, a lot of that stuff doesn't do that great. And then later on, they're regretting it.
Yeah, and then trying to go back and find it.
Yeah, go back and find it again and then rebuy it.
Yeah.
And our recommendation for that, though, put it in a tote. I've said this several times. You don't have to blow it away. Put it in a tote, and then, you know, a year from now or whenever, when you look through that, you know, say, well, let me see what I've got. And you dig through, you're going to have one of two responses. First, that's what happened to that. You know, okay, I forgot about this. Or, why did I buy this? And if it's, why did I buy this? Sell it. You know? But give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
Basically. Give yourself a chance with that.
Yeah. But, you know, but it is, I think a point will come for everybody when they just feel like, man, I'm not getting the same passion that I had before.
Yeah.
For whatever it is. For whatever it is you're collecting, you don't have that drive. And then, but don't force it. Just stop, pause for a while, step back, take a break, and allow yourself to regroup. Because I know sometimes you get overwhelmed. And I know I kind of feel like that right now with comic books. I'm just like, you know, when we went to the last comic book convention, that was a few months ago, I really just wanted the Green Arrow stuff because I was reading it and it was really good and I wanted to complete it and, you know, finish reading the whole thing. And I read all the way up until Green Arrow died, and I read a little bit after that, and I wasn't really feeling it anymore. And I honestly haven't bought a comic book since then. And I haven't even looked at a comic book.
Yeah.
Since. Normally, sometimes I'll get on eBay and just look at, let's see what they got as far as horror or romance or something like that. And I haven't done any of that. And I don't have the desire to. So let's just put a pause on it. I don't check on my grails to see if somebody's slipping up in the auctions. And maybe I could get a great deal. Haven't done any of those things. So sometimes you just got to back up and just regroup and take a minute. And then probably just read something else, or just don't read anything and just see where it leads you.
Yeah.
Or don't collect anything. Step away from the toys. If coming into your toy room doesn't brighten up your spirits, probably turn the light off and close the door for a few weeks or even a month.
Yeah. Give yourself a break. I think everybody needs a break from things from time to time.
Yeah.
Like it's why you take a vacation from your job, because you could like your job, and after a while you could walk in there one day and say, "The hell am I doing here?" Just you get tired. You get tired.
Yeah, you get tired of it, and you just need a break, because this, especially in toys and comic books, can get very overwhelming with the amount of products and material they putting out there.
Yeah,
and then
modern stuff especially.
Yeah, especially if you're a modern collector. It's so much coming out at once, and the price. So you're collecting, I don't know, Kenner Star Wars series, and then every week a wave of 10 comes out.
Oh God,
that's overwhelming. At what, $30 each, $20 each?
Yeah, it's
or
like
something like that.
$26, $27.
Yeah,
damn near $30.
It's overwhelming, and then you get thrown off, and then you collect comic books. You feel like every Tuesday you got to go to the comic book shop, and it's this one. I'm not liking this character. I'm not liking the direction they're going in.
Yeah.
The storyline is bad. The drawing is bad, but I'm already into it. 20 copies. I already read the first 20, so I got to keep going.
You don't have to.
Yeah, and all of that gets overwhelming, and it takes the joy out of it, and it causes you to not like it anymore, I think.
Yeah, so take a break. Give yourself a break. You don't have to stop forever.
Yeah.
You can stop for a little while and just do something else.
Yeah, do something totally different.
Do something else. Give yourself a little bit of a sabbatical from it, and regroup, and then see how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe, after some time passes, you come back and that spark, that little fire start burning again, and now you want to go to a show, you want to go toy hunting again, you want to go back into your toy/comic room, you want to read those books again, or whatever you normally do. You want to do those things again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, I don't know. What do you think? Did you have anything else?
No, I think that's all.
That's enough. So, again, what do you think? Thoughts? Any other concepts or suggestions? Let us know in the comment section down below. Please do. Give the video a thumbs up. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All of that good stuff. And if that is it, then what more can we say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.